We do not see objects, we detect objects. The Big Bang happens and a new universe is created. This universe consists of matter, energy, and space. After billions of years of complicated interactions and processes, the matter, energy, and space produce a planet with conscious life forms, CLFs. In the course of their evolution, the conscious life forms will need to see each other in order to live and interact with each other. But what does it really mean to see? A conscious life form is, first of all, a physical thing. There is no magic power that just lets a conscious life form see another conscious life form. A conscious life form can only detect another conscious life form through some sensing mechanism which must be made out of physical material and which uses physical processes. The exact physical material and processes for seeing may be the result of applying known scientific principles, or maybe new principles will need to be discovered. In any case, there never is any kind of seeing in the sense that we think we understand it. There is always only detection. As an engineer, I have worked on many projects that require detection solutions. An engineering approach will be applied to the human visual detection system in the upcoming sections of this website. A conscious life form might understand that it does not ever really see another conscious life form, but it will still insist that it sees the reflected light. The conscious life form would be mistaken if it thinks it sees even the reflected light. All it can do is detect the reflected light. Its sensing mechanism can only produce physical reactions, like neural activity, that are correlated with the reflected light. If the reflected light is red, the sensing mechanism will fire neurons that only fire for red inputs. The conscious life form might be able to sense that the red neurons are firing. So every time these neurons fire, it can report that it is seeing red. This conscious life form is only sensing particular neurons firing and is not experiencing red like we do. Conscious life forms like us see red as a conscious experience and are not aware of any neural activity. This conscious red experience, the experience of redness, is how we detect red light from the external physical world. Unfortunately, the experience of redness, at least for now, cannot be found in the brain or explained by brain activity. Further investigation shows that the experience of redness cannot be found in any kind of matter, energy, or aspect of space, so we must conclude that it is something different than any of these things. Redness is probably in a whole different category of phenomena than any known scientific category of phenomena. No matter how much we might want a standard and known physical explanation, it just does not exist, and we will have to admit that there is no current physical process or explanation from science that can be applied to help us understand the experience of redness in the mind. The detection apparatus must still exist, but it must be something radically different from what science can currently deal with. It is truly a magical phenomenon at this point in time. We can only hope that science will be able to better understand conscious phenomena someday, in order to remove the magic. Maybe a whole new branch of science will have to be created to properly understand conscious phenomena. We will just have to be patient. But we should not just give up the quest. There are new approaches to the problem that can provide a rich path forward. First, let us qualify the normal space that we know and call it physical space. Next, let us introduce a new concept and call it conscious space. Let conscious space be the abstract place where our conscious experiences like redness occur. Conscious space might eventually be found to be a component of ordinary physical space, but until science figures out how to deal with consciousness, we should think about conscious space as simply a tool that allows conscious phenomena to have a place to occur in for the sake of discussion. We can also conceptually partition conscious space into individual conscious minds that have their own private conscious experiences. Conscious space might seem like a strange thing right now, but someday it could be an integral part of our scientific understanding. The conscious space concept will be developed throughout the entire mind paper and in the following topics. Since we have proposed this conscious space, it is only natural to wonder if there is a corresponding conscious matter and a conscious energy. Maybe red is a type of conscious matter, and maybe volition is a type of conscious energy. But these analogies are just naive speculations because whatever conscious space might be, it is probably not going to be like any kind of physical space. It is instructive to start talking about the perception of light by concentrating on a particular type of light, namely red light, as in the above paragraphs. But it should be understood that the two-dimensional conscious visual scene that we experience is made out of all the possible colors of light, depending on what we are looking at. So in the following sections, when I use the term light, I am referring to that conscious visual scene with all the colors. I have found that some people try to imagine that someone is waving a flashlight in front of them when I talk about seeing light, or especially later in the argument section when I talk about dream light. But everything you see in any particular area of the conscious visual scene is some color of light. Of course, black is the absence of any light in an area of the scene. Although black is the absence of any light, it is still a conscious experience and is technically an actual conscious color.